Do the rims on your tractor need to be replaced? Maybe they're like this one where the rim is very scaly from years of having chloride in the tire and it needs to be replaced if you're going to restore the tractor. Or maybe you're using your tractor and it's become cracked and no longer functioning properly. Whatever the reason being, it's simple to replace the rim on your tractor. I'll show you how to do that in this video. Now, through the years, there's been a lot of technology and innovations in the tire changing process. There's lots of fancy tools that you can purchase and use to make your tire changing job easier. I have those tools. We like to use them because obviously it makes your job easier, but I want you to be able to follow along if you just have average tools in your shop. I will do this whole tire repair just with some average tire spoons, thinking that you're likely to have those tools in your shop as well so that you can easily follow along and make the repair yourself. So the first thing that we need to do is to take the tire off of the tractor. I already have a jack stand underneath my axle here. I also have my other wheel chock so that we can safely remove it. Okay, this tire is smaller so I can handle it myself. If you are working on a bigger tire and it has chloride in it, then you would definitely want to probably get some help from a friend. There it goes off, and then we'll just set it down. We're ready to deflate the air out of the tube now, so I'm going to take my cap off of my valve stem here. Now, when I pull out this stem, air pressure is going to start coming out because I have air in my tractor tire here. Now, you may have chloride or rim guard or any other type of liquid that people like to put into their tractor tires, and that's okay. Just be aware that when you start to pull this off, the liquid's going to start pouring out. So you might not want to do that inside your shop. You might want to do that outside. And if there's anything toxic inside your tire, then you would want to dispose of that properly. So I'm going to pull this out and the air is going to come out. There we go. Now there's a second part to your valve stem. This holds the tube up into the rim here. I'm going to remove that now, and then the next step will be to break the bead. I can already see that because of the condition of this tire, it's starting to happen a little bit on its own already. That might be the case for yours, or you might need to break it completely yourself. To break the bead, I'm going to use a claw type hammer like this one. There's lots of different sizes. This one is bigger, and if you're doing a bigger tractor tire, then you would want to swing a bigger hammer, but I like to use this small one. Now, to make the job a little bit easier, I'm going to just put a little bit of dish soap around the bead here. You can see, I'm just going to put it around. There we go. This will help the claw to go into the crack easier when I break the bead. I'm going to put that around there. Oh, baby. There we go. And you can see that my bead has already begun to drop here. That happened automatically. It doesn't always happen on a tire. And then stand up here on it and beat around there. Very good. You can see it drop there. There we go. I'm just going to go all the way around the tire. One word of caution is to be careful where you stand, because if you swing and you miss, you don't want to run into your leg. I flipped the tire over, so now we're doing the other side, and I did put dish soap in there again a second time. There we go. Again, we just got to go all the way around the tire. Okay, looks good. I'm ready to remove the tube out of the tire. That's the next step that we're working on. So I'm going to move the rubber tire down to the next level of the rim. That's the goal here. Now I have the tire flipped over so that this is where the valve stem is, that the valve stem would be on this side. You'll want to have that side facing up too, because that will make it a lot easier for you to pull the tube out on this side. So I'm going to move this down and then put one of these clamps in here just to hold the tire down. Move my weight out of the way. here, okay? And then I'm going to put another clamp over here, like so. See how that's holding the tire down? That's good. Now I'm gonna go over to the other side and use this big tire spoon in here. And I'm gonna try to get this down a little bit there, okay? I'm gonna pry down on the tire and get my spoon in there. There we go. And then I'm going to move it over. Just like that, okay? Now, I want to hold this bar here, and if you have a friend, they can probably put their foot on it for you so it doesn't come back and bite you. I'm just gonna put this weight on here to hold that bar down while I work over here and peel the rest of the tire up and over. I'm using 2 spoons together here to work this rubber around the rim. So I use this one to pry to make room for this one in there, and then over it goes like that, okay? And keep working around the whole surface like so. I'm removing my clamps as I make my way around here. There we go. And I'm gonna leave my bar in there while I take this weight off. And then that bar comes out. And then we'll continue around here. Like that. As we get around here, we'll take this other clamp out. And we'll keep following this around. Here we go. And we'll get in there again. I think I need my second bar. I can get underneath there. There we go. Perfect. Okay. A little bit more and we'll be off all the way. And we'll move on to the other side. There we go. Perfect. Okay, you can see it's loose there. I'm gonna stand the tire up and take the tube out. You can see that my whole rim is loose down. There's where the valve stem is, but let's start up here because that's what's up at the top here first. Just gonna slide this tube all the way out like that. Sometimes the tube will be rusted onto the rim, and sometimes it ends up coming out in pieces. This one looks like it's going to come out pretty easy for us. We'll just chase this all the way around. If you were trying to save your tube, you'd want to be very mindful of not pinching it, but we're going to replace the tube. If you go to this much work, make sure you got a good tube in there. That's my opinion. There's our valve stem right there. Looks like that's going to go beyond that okay for us. Okay. Now it's loose. I'm going to reach in back this way. Try to help it around that ledge on the rim. There we go. Here she comes. Okay, there we go. Tube's completely out. I have my large pry bar in here. You can see that I put the tire and the rim back on the tractor. That's just to hold the rim still while I beat the tire the rest of the way off of the rim. You might not necessarily have to do that if you are able to hold on to it and use a hammer at the same time. But I'm not, so I have it bolted to the tractor. So with that, we'll get it all the way around. Place special attention to holding on to this so it doesn't spring back and hit you. Maybe it'll come off on its own now, maybe? Nope. Let's go a little bit more here. Oh, I think it's loose if I just, there we go. It's gonna come. Perfect. Taking the rim off, and I'm going to remove the center out of the old rim so that we can put the new center, or the old center, into the new rim. So there's 4 bolts on this cub rim. Might be different on the tractor that you're working on, but you need to just remove the bolts to get your center out. A little bit. Okay. I already had the other ones out, so that was my last one to go. Now I'm going to flip it over and try to drive the center out. Ooh, might not be that bad. Okay, so now we have the rim apart from the center. We're going to put this center onto the new rim. We're ready to put the tire onto the rim, but before you do that, think about which way the tread of your tire is going, where the valve stem is, and how this is going to go onto your tractor. I've seen lots of restoration projects where the tire tread's going the wrong way. Nothing looks worse. So think through it and get your tread going the right way. Also, you'll see that I have the valve stem on the outside here. That's how it is originally on a Farmall Cub tractor. So we'll put it back to the original way on this tractor. Might be different on yours, so think about that. So now I'm going to lay my rim down here. And then I'm going to slide my tire over it. First, I'm going to put some soap on there. Please hold, okay? This will make it a little easier to slide around there. I'm gonna leave my gloves on just in case there's any steel shreds or anything. I don't want to get that in my hand when I slide around here. Okay. I like to use soap better than any grease or anything. My preference there. Okay, now we're gonna slide this over here like so. Try to get it down. And then we'll use a hammer to get it the rest of the way. Stretch it over there. There we go. Perfect. Here's my new tube. I'm going to take this valve stem out with the cap and save it. And then also there's a lock here. This will help to hold the inner tube in there once we get the inner tube in the tire. So now I'm going to stuff this in here. Right here is where my valve stem is. You can see that. So I'm going to put it in there. And slide it, oops. Get it up a little bit more on this side, and then we'll deal with that valve stem. Oops. Okay. I'm going to feel underneath there and find my valve stem again because I lost it. I don't want to do that. Okay, there's my valve stem right there. So it's got to go a little bit to the side here. My valve stem's super close. I can feel it. There we go. Just through. And I'm going to slide this lock on there, or screw it on there, I should say. And take my glove off. Be a little easier. Okay, there she is. We're getting it tight on there. This will help to hold the inner tube into place so that we can stretch it around the rest of the way. So that's on. I'll stand it up, come around to the side here, and stuff the rest of it in here. Just almost all the way around. Hung up a little bit over here. And there it is. Okay. The tube's all the way in there, you can see, and it's tucked up in there enough that it's not going to get pinched when we continue assembling. You can see that I have my tire all soaped up on the edge. I prefer to use soap rather than grease since I am going to continue restoring this tractor. I just don't want to have grease on the rim. Soap will just wipe right off, so that's why I like to use soap, and I would recommend the same for you as you're doing this. So now I'm ready to pull the tire over, and I'm just going to start here with a spoon. Come closer. Okay, here we go. Now I'm going to put a clip in there. This will ensure that I don't lose any of my progress. Oops. I don't have it in there all the way. There we go. Okay. And I'll continue around here. Get over and under. There we go. Let's do that again. I'm gonna put another clip in here to here we go. And then we'll just continue all the way around. You do want to be careful how far you put your spoons in there because you don't want to catch on the tube at all and pinch it. Oops. Okay, my valve stem is right here, so I know the tube is a lot closer right here because it's being held up there. So I'm just going to use this hammer to beat it over the rest of the way, just like that. Now notice that I'm sitting on it or kneeling on it to get the tire down, and also these clips are helping to hold my progress all the way around. Now we're going to pull those clips out because I feel like it's down far enough around there. Just going to gently pry these out like so. Ready to bead the tire onto the rim here. So I'm going to put my valve stem in. This is the same valve stem that I took out of the tube earlier. So I'm just going to tighten it by hand and then tighten it for sure with pliers. Don't tighten it too much, as you can tighten it too much and break it. So just use your discretion there as you tighten it up. Make sure I need to go a little tighter. Okay. That's good. So now we're ready to fill this with air in order to get the tire to bead to the rim. Now I already have soap around here, as we've seen all along, so that should make it go very easily for us. When you inflate, you can inflate up to about 20 psi for a tire this size, and then we'll deflate it back to operating psi. As you're doing this, be careful not to stick your fingers in here, as you'll see as we go along that the tire is coming up to the rim. You don't want to have your fingers pinched in there. While I'm doing this, I'm just watching the tire to see when it will reach. You might have a bang or a boom, or you might not. But if that happens, don't be too alarmed. You can see that my tire is still making its way up to the rim here. It's looking good. Check pressure right now. So I think we're probably close. We're at about 15, so I'll go some more. Okay. I can see all the way around here that the tire looks like it's very beaded onto the rim. Feels secure. So I'm just going to check the pressure again here. Oops. There we go. Okay, and I need to let out a little bit of pressure. I'm going to do that. This tire, we want to be around 15 pounds of pressure for operating. There we go, it's perfect. It's right on the money. So now I'm going to put the cap on the valve stem and we'll be set. All of my wheel bolts are on. You can see that I have my tread going the right way on my tire. Notice how big of an improvement the rim made over the corroded rim that we started with. I hope that this video is helpful to you when you replace the rims on your tractor.